How to identify static pawn levers. Have you ever wondered how to spot static pawn levers in your chess games? Understanding this concept can really change how you approach your strategy. Let's break it down step by step. First, let's clarify what a pawn lever is. A pawn lever occurs when a pawn is pushed forward to exchange itself, aiming to improve your pawn structure or disrupt your opponent's. This is a key tactic in chess for gaining positional advantages. Now, what do we mean by static pawn structure? This refers to a situation where pawns are not very mobile, and their positions tend to remain unchanged throughout the game. Recognizing static pawn structures is essential because they affect the movement of other pieces and shape your overall strategy. To identify static pawn levers, start by looking for pawns on open files. Pawns positioned on open files can become levers when they advance and challenge the opponent's pawns. This can lead to an improved pawn structure for you. Next, assess the mobility of your pawns. In a static structure, pawns that lack support from other pawns or are isolated can become targets for levers. These isolated pawns can be weaknesses that your opponent might exploit. Another important step is to analyze your opponent's pawn chain. A pawn lever can be used to break or weaken this chain, creating vulnerabilities that you can take advantage of later in the game. Consider the long-term impact of your moves. A static pawn lever should aim to enhance your position over time by creating better pawn structures or weakening your opponent's pawns. Now, let's look at practical applications. There are different types of levers. Attacking levers are used to gain space and challenge your opponent's position directly. Defensive levers can support a weak pawn or stop an opponent from advancing. Strategic levers aim to create long-term advantages by changing the pawn structure in your favor. In the context of positional imbalances, knowing how to use static pawn levers effectively can help you manage and exploit these imbalances in the game. By applying these strategies, you can gain better control over the board and create opportunities for winning positions. So next time you sit down to play, keep an eye out for those static pawn levers. They can be the key to turning the tide in your favor.